I hope you can see me. Is it okay? So what I'm gonna talk about is how are leaders pegged, because I swear people's stupidity, that's not really a great way to start a video. So, like, I don't know where people get certain things from. They say things like, so and so is the leader, why aren't they standing in the middle? What does being a leader have to do anything with standing in the middle? Like, you're not leading them like on a picture, you're keeping them together, and I don't think many people get this. The leader's duty is to keep the group together and to take all the blame. Like, one member does something wrong, the company actually scolds the leader. So the leader is responsible for the group. Okay? So something like a teacher for the kid's safety on a school trip. Like, if one kid does something stupid, it's not the kids who get the punishment. Kind of like, well, they do get too, but you know, the leader, well, the teacher gets the punishment, and then the leader, the teacher, punishes the kid, the member. Okay? That's like, okay, so to be a leader, you need to have a special quality, something like the talent in leading. That's what I like to say. So, being talented singer, dancer, rapper has nothing to do with being a talented leader, like being good at leading. And I don't think many people understand it. Like what does being a good singer has to do anything with being a good leader? Like, when I was like, when I would ask someone, like, why is that the leader? They would be like, because they are the most talented. At what? Not leading, certainly, because then I wouldn't ask. So, like, being a good leader is another talent, and I think many people don't understand this. And then let's look at the qualities which is good for a leader. Like, I don't know, being responsible, I guess, having the members respect, and, you know, with this, you already know that it has to be someone quite old compared to the rest, like older. Why? Because Korea is like really strict and based on being polite to someone who is older. Like, even if it's a few months, if in school you were a year apart because you were born in January, you were in a higher grade, like year in high school or any other school, than someone who is born in May. It's like a few months apart, but you talk to them in a polite way. You respect them because they're older. And that's it, you can't argue with this. If someone is older than the rest, they get an automatic respect from the other members. Literally, they can be punished for talking back or like saying something that the older doesn't like. So, saying that older shouldn't be the leader is also in a way a bit dumb, because they automatically get the respect of the other members, which is a good thing. So, but you can't just pick someone because they are the oldest. Like, there's no way you can do that. But you should also remember how the best leader in K-pop ever, Eric, is also picked based on his age. As well as Itik, who is, well, it shouldn't be an unpopular opinion, but unfortunately it is because people are. Yeah, but Itik is also the best leader in K-pop, just like Eric, and both of them were picked because they are the oldest. So picking the oldest is actually going the safe way, because you pick the one which all the others respect, so they won't talk back, they will listen to them, they keep the rest together more easily. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. So picking the oldest rather than the most talented in singing or dancing makes a whole lot more sense than picking someone who's good at singing. Okay? Okay, we are getting there. Okay. So, next thing. Feeling responsible. Okay, so usually they are like somebody who be a relationship and they are like responsible for them, and like olders are also responsible for the youngers in a way. But like many groups debut in a young age, the members are pretty young, like late teens, like after 15 or something. And just talking to teenagers, teenager is a weird age. I know many of you are teenagers, so it's like, I'm not saying this is a negative thing, but this is the age when you think you're all grown up and you can do things on your own and everything, but you're really not so grown up. So, like, you are probably not responsible enough. Like, you like it's a hard age because you are literally not a child anymore, but you are not an adult yet. So when there is a bunch of teenagers in a group, like there's a 15-year-old or 16-year-old versus a 19-year-old, who do you think is more responsible? I'm just saying that the older ones are usually more responsible because they are just older and they know more about life is not really the correct form to say, but they have already graduated from high school, they just have a bigger view than, I don't know how to explain it, but like there's like a few teenagers in a group and some members in the early 20s. Probably someone who's already in their early 20s are more responsible. But again, picking the oldest is not really a good thing just based on this, but being the oldest or older member has the qualities which a leader needs automatically. That's what I'm trying to say. Like later, of course, younger members can become much more responsible, but it's also because they grew up with being the leader who is more responsible and they learn from them and the respect that they give from the older members. So it's just easier to go with someone who is one of the oldest ones. So okay, I'm trying to say this as nicely as possible and in a way that it makes sense. But again, who would want a group which is led by Jejong? Like, no one. And when there was a group, like a training group at SM, where Hichol was the oldest, who would want a group led by Hichol? No one. So there are things which you shouldn't do. Like Jejong and Hichol are not exactly good leader quality. Like, that's why Kangin was named a leader of that group, and is a leader of Domeshinki. So that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not really sure why in AOA, but I guess Jimin is a good leader, so I'm just so there are, and Xiumin, look at Xiumin, you can't really imagine him being a leader. And from SM's point of view, someone who's been training the longest with them is probably the best choice to go as a leader. So that's how Suho became a leader. So actually, I think SM makes a lot of sense with picking leaders. I think they are doing really good at that. So, all this gets automatic respect. What more do you want? Oh, you want responsibility? Probably an older member has more responsibility. Of course, if groups would debut with an average age of 25, then this wouldn't be a real issue because probably all of them would be pretty responsible. Except, their personalities, yeah. So, I think I explained it pretty well, and I hope this wasn't offensive and it, cleared up some things why are often the oldest picked as leader, even if it feels dumb. But actually, if you think about it, Eric, Ituk, Sungyu is also, they are good leaders. And to pick Jea as an example, Jea is a group where the fourth oldest is the leader. And look at who are older than him. So Kwang Hee and Shivan are both older than Moon Leader, but they are not really good leader types. It's good for Jea that they are not the leaders. And Kevin almost became the leader, who is the oldest, but considering that it was actually Moon Leader who brought Kevin in the company and many other members, so it's he built the group rather than the company building it, in a way. So, of course he would become the leader, and I actually respect him a lot, and he's one of my favorite leaders ever. Why wouldn't he? So, and then Victoria is also a good leader, and she was just picked because she's much older than the rest. She couldn't even speak Korean properly, but I think it's just SM saw that she's actually a really responsible person, and the second oldest Amber is 5 years younger than her, and Victoria even counts in Korean age a year older, even so 6 years apart. So it was really, she was that much older, especially when Amber was still a teenager, that it was obvious that there's no other way, they have to go with Victoria. And it turned out to be a really good choice because I really like Victoria as a leader. Another one, Kara's Curie. I think she's the best female leader ever in K-pop, and she's been doing an amazing job. And she is Kara, Kara is Gyuri, Gyuri is Kara, Kara is Gyuri. That's it. She's doing good with this. So and she was just picked based on age. And then there's T-ara, who don't even have a leader. I think the actual people who were actually really good at leading T-ara are Injung and Soyeon. So it's like in T-ara I think there is no, I think there's the concept part of it. So yeah, and like in Namusi, Sara was a good leader. So like she wasn't the oldest, but I think she felt responsible enough. So that was a tough situation on Sara, of course. So like there is like many of my favorites are oldest leaders, and many of them are just not even all the oldest, but they are still good leaders. So it can be both, but you can't say that picking the leader based on age is a bad thing. Okay, like maybe it's not the best, like in a way, but actually it's not a bad thing at all. Like because like 90%, it's 90% sure that you are gonna have a pretty good leader. Like it's like responsible and they have respect. They are respected in the group. So yes. And like in Madtown too, like Moose almost already debuted, so it's like it was obvious that they should pick him. So there's like a last talk is a bit too much. So I really hope this kinda helped, and I really hope I didn't do anything bad. Bye!